In June 1941, British scientists Howard Florey and Norman Heatley brought samples of the penicillium mold to the United States via a blacked-out airplane to seek assistance in the mass production of penicillin. Colleagues in the U.S. arranged visits with groups who might help them, including the Department of Agriculture's Northern Regional Research Laboratory in Peoria. The lab's fermentation division was highly successful at growing molds and other microbes in large-scale fermentations to produce motor fuels, plastic precursors, food additives, and food preservatives. Upon the lab's agreement to pursue penicillin production, Florey returned to England, while Heatley remained in Peoria for a few months to help with the penicillin development process. Robert Coghill, chief of the fermentation division, led a research team comprising scientists and technicians of different backgrounds to work on the penicillin problem. On July 14, 1941, the experiments began in Peoria. As the center of a large fermenting and distilling industry, Peoria had ready access to corn steep liquor, a byproduct of the corn wet milling process. Scientists often use this byproduct to promote growth of many different microorganisms. Andrew Moyer, a chemist at the Peoria lab and an expert on mold nutrition, added corn steep liquor to the medium for the growth of the penicillium mold and grew his samples in wide-bottom flasks to allow for better air exposure for the mold. By November 26, 1941, Moyer succeeded in increasing the yield of penicillin tenfold. Moyer continued to experiment by adding sugar from milk, or lactose, to the corn steep liquor growth medium, yielding 20 times more penicillin than with the original growth media. These promising findings convinced 4 major U.S. pharmaceutical companies to investigate the possibility of the mass production of penicillin. A serious obstacle to production remained. The British mold culture produced fairly small quantities of penicillin. A worldwide search began to discover higher-producing strains of the mold that could be used in tank cultures. Submerged cultures not only effectively scaled up production, but also did so in the most economical way. Soil samples were flown to Peoria from diverse places under Allied control, ranging from India to the Caribbean. Kenneth Raper and Dorothy Fennell were instrumental in isolating, identifying, and screening various molds. Additionally, lab employees collected moldy produce from Peoria fruit stands for more sources of penicillium molds. As luck would have it, a strain from a Peoria cantaloupe collected by an employee named Mary initially produced 25 times more penicillin than the British strain, and most importantly, it produced penicillin when grown in submerged cultures. The legend of Moldy Mary was born. Currently, her true identity is uncertain.